Live USA. Tonight I have with me, of course, Steamboat Willie, my police officer expert Mikey from the East Coast, and I got my child actor Al Collins here tonight with us. Good evening, everybody. How you guys doing?
Very good.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Hey guys, there's a lot going on. I don't even know where to start.
How are you? I may have to reboot.
You gonna
Well,
reboot?
while you're rebooting, let's get away from the normal Trump Biden rhetoric
Right.
just for a minute. Let's talk about the Tampa mayor. God bless her. She went out. She finally got a vacation. The mayor of Tampa, Florida. She finally got a vacation with her family.
Mm-hmm.
She hooked a big one, and she's never caught a fish in her life. So she thought she hooked a big one. You know what she hooked? A duffel bag with 7 cocaine in it.
God
Now
bless
there's
her.
a catch. There's a catch.
That's right. And just to be fair, it did not have Hunter Biden's name on the duffel bag.
Well, is she going to take it to the White House and sell it?
she'll probably try to cash it in and get some property owner tax breaks for Tampa. But now this is another thing, and I want to say this before I shut up, which I know is hard for me to do. I thought I was going to lose my voice tonight. Somehow, a half hour before the show, I get my voice back. That's the great curse we all have to deal with. but the FBI today, and I know they catch a lot of heat over this Trump Biden bullshit and everything. But I'll tell you what, the FBI today did what they do best. Those men and women with their boots on the ground. They nailed a crackpot who had a plan, and he's an idiot anyway because he puts it on social media. I mean, this guy should have been in a mental hospital. But they killed this guy today because literally hours before, he had a plan to assassinate President Joe Biden and indicated that he was going to assassinate Kamala Harris afterwards. These are the crackpots. These are the crackpots that the FBI looks out for every single day. So I just want to say good job being on your job and protecting our president and in the White House. And I want to salute the FBI tonight. Now I yield the floor to the gentleman from wherever.
So it's funny you say that because, you know, they're not releasing a lot of information, right? The guy was over 70 years old. I don't know if when he opened the door, he had a weapon. So we don't know all the facts of what really happened.
We know enough just based upon his social media posts.
Well, sometimes people exaggerate on social media. I'm not saying that he was wrong. I'm just saying that when they went to his door, did he have a weapon for them to shoot him? You know what I mean?
Yes, he did. He was very weaponized.
Did he have a weapon when he opened the door? We don't know that. We're just making
Did he have his hands up or what?
Right. We don't know.
We don't know, right?
That's what I'm saying.
I would have shot the bastard anyway.
Well, I know you would because you're Steamboat, but law enforcement officers and Mikey was one. You just don't shoot no matter what. You shoot to defend yourself. So we don't know all the facts. So I'm just keeping my opinion in check when it comes to that because I really want to know what really happened. I know we're not going to find out anytime soon because they're still investigating the situation. And I'm glad the FBI defended the president. Don't get me wrong, right? That's their job. But I want to know more facts, especially when it comes to this government leadership that we currently have, right? I mean, here we are. We're talking about raising taxes in California again because we need money for the homeless, borrowing to make money. And I just find out today that Biden wants to give $10 billion more to the Ukraine.
He already has. You're right, Tony. He already has done that. And this to get us into this is going to get us into a foreign war that we have no business belonging in at this point.
Well,
None.
we have the Fifth Fleet going to the Middle East. We have a division from Texas going to Germany. Why? Why
Well,
do
how
we have a
about we send the Fifth Fleet to the Aleutian Islands?
Well, I know they're worried about the Wagner group in Belarus, close to Poland,
right?
which is a NATO country. So that may be just a deterrent for that, hopefully.
Well, I agree. It should be a deterrent, but we have to worry about how close China and Russia are to Alaska now, right?
Right.
What are we doing
Well,
with
they
that?
did with they did finally withdraw, but they were there long enough. They should not have been there.
No.
Yeah. And the administration is saying they were in international waters. Well, that doesn't really mean anything when you can shoot a missile from your destroyer and
Well,
hit Alaska.
and there's a lot to think about, right? Like we're giving ammunition, tanks, bullets to foreign countries when we have a shortage for our own guys, right? So
Yeah.
at what point are we going to think? It's kind of like local government. At what point are we going to think about our community, right? Before we start giving money to other communities, right? And other cities and other countries. At
Right.
some point, it has to stop, right? The welfare plan that we have doesn't really work, right? Newsom's new plan is to borrow through bonds, right? I think talk about $30 million to help the homeless. That's all smoke and mirrors because he's not really trying to help. 30 million is nothing. It's not going to help.
Well, you brought this up last week. And I absolutely agreed with you. Every time they do this and they put the homeless tag on it, the money never gets to where it's supposed to be going.
Well,
so what do we have? We got more of the same. We haven't learned our lesson. I was watching Governor Greg Abbott in Texas today. And the governor's staff, just a few months ago, they were down in Florida, and one of the legislators in Florida told the Texas delegation, guess what we just did? We just cut taxes. We just created tax revenue. We cut taxes by $2 billion. And the state senator representing the governor that was there, he said, $2 billion. Well, good job. And by the way, that's cute. Because in a few days, Governor Abbott, which he did today, cut property taxes in Texas by $18 billion. Now, there's a state I can believe in.
Right. Well, they keep, I don't know if you guys heard Karen Bass, you know how the city went on strike yesterday, a show of force by the unions. And her response was that she was going to make sure that the homeless encampments were kept clean, right? That was her solution on her speech. That was it. Not worried about everybody else, but back to the homeless issue, because really that's what's really important, right? For political reasons, right? They want to seem like they're doing something that they're really not doing because they're not helping. Homelessness has increased by 10% in LA County since
Yeah, go ahead.
It's about to get bigger, I'm afraid.
Right. So what are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we not doing? Kind of like yesterday, I went to an event at the Glendale Unified School District to watch parents. It's going to take the local family to get crazy and push back. It was good to see parents fighting for their kids yesterday at the Glendale Unified School District event. There was people there acting dumb as usual, but the parents went in there with a mission, and it was to let the school board know that enough is enough. Part of the problem with the school board is in any city is that it's run by unions, not really the people working at the school board or the school district. It's all union. And at some point, we need to think about taking unions away from schools. Unions don't belong in our schools.
I agree with you. I agree with you on this point, but I don't put all unions in that category. But I do agree with you on that because the unions have politicized. Look, this is why we're having the debate here in this country over critical race theory, over transgender indoctrination of our children. Look, these are things that our school district should not teach. Reading, writing, and arithmetic, in science, in history, again.
But we're not
Do
the only.
that. That really is your only job.
Right.
But stop trying to turn our children into something that, when they become adults and they graduate, they can do whatever they want. I support the constitutional right to do so. But you cannot compete with parents.
No,
there's no call.
No, you're right. And just like AB,
I think it would be good if
665. Go ahead, Mike.
I think it would be good if they get rid of the Department of Education, over to the states.
Agreed.
If the states want to have their unions, let it work in that geographical area, not the whole, so it becomes a big powerhouse. And take the money that they were given to the federal government and give it to the 50 states, or 57 or 50, and let them deal with it.
Well,
having one great big powerhouse, you're just creating like a.
Yeah, we mentioned last week too. We were talking about this very issue. I think we all agree on the Department of Education issue. I mentioned the ATF to break that up between two agencies. And also, we were talking today about the FDA. Having a Food and Drug Administration under one roof is wrong. You send the food issue to a scientific think tank and in the Department of Agriculture, and you send the drug issue to a scientific unit of the DEA. You just broke up an agency that does this with the American people all the time. Yeah, we'll approve this. We'll approve. They're not effective. They're not effective.
You could take those 87,000 IRS agencies you got, disband that into ICE, and get them to start working on getting rid of the illegals. A lot of people. I
would agree with that. The IRS has enough agents.
Well, and think about this: we're spending all this money that we really technically don't have, right? And I think people assume because we can print money, it helps the economy. That really hurts the economy, right? All this money influx that comes in, it hurts the economy. It doesn't help it at all, right? And people don't understand that. Oh, I'm getting free money. I'm getting free money, and they don't think about where that money's coming from. Not just taxpayers, because there's not enough tax coming into the government. Obviously, because we're always in a deficit. There's not enough coming in. What can we do to get people motivated to go vote for the right people or stand up for their kids, right? Because I think that's critical, that until families and friends get together and figure out what's going on, they don't do, like, how many people know about AB 665, right? The another Anthony Weiner bill going through, that giving a 12-year-old the ability to do whatever they want without parental consent or without even the parents, right?
Okay, this is the look. I have a friend. I'm not going to mention his name. I'm not going to do what Trump does and mention his name and then say I'm not going to mention his name. But it's like a friend of mine on Facebook, Robbie Ravenwood. Oh shit, Robbie Ravenwood. He posted a thing, and he's funny. He's funny as all hell. Seriously,
he is.
But he posted about the nutcases on the right.
Right.
And so I replied to him today: nutcases on the right, lunatics on the left. I'm stuck in the middle of you, because they're both doing this thing, and they both think they're right, which they count each other out because they're both wrong. There has to be and by the way, Robbie, I support you. I can't wait to see you in person in a comedy show. And And when Al tells you that my funeral's coming up, I expect you to be there to roast the shit out of me. but here's the thing: we are doing this partisan wise, and I heard our mutual Republican guru out here, David Hernandez, who said that he keeps hearing people say there's no difference between Republican and Democrat. Well, I just lost my earpiece. There's no difference between Republican and Democrat. And he made the case, we'll look at the platforms. The problem is you can have your platform and eat it all you want. But it's the people that get into office, they both do the same thing. They profit from public service. They profit from the American taxpayer. They fight each other tooth and nail, making it partisan when they're both in bed with each other. And I think there's a good friend of mine, who said, who coined the phrase uniparty. And it's proving to be true.
It's crazy
I think there should be the eunuch party because they don't have what it takes.
There'll only be a eunuch party when we cut their political balls off, Mike.
Look,
There you go.
I happened to meet with the mayor of National City last week, and he's been the only politician that I've spoken to that calls himself a public servant, which was amazing to me. And it caught my ear right away. And I'm like, wait, you use the public servant word? And he goes, that's what I am. I'm like,
Right.
I haven't heard anybody use that word. And that's what they really are. They're public servants.
I use it.
Forget that they're public servants. Right?
Yeah, Al would use it. You would use it. Mike would use it.
I'm a board member of the Chamber of Commerce. I don't get paid for that. I don't get one penny.
That's exactly right. No, you should get paid. You should get paid. And you've got an event coming up on September 6th. Hopefully, Tony's going to be the speaker, right?
That's our comedy breakfast. That's
right. It'll be funny
our
there for sure.
Yeah, oh, it's Mindy Sterling from the Austin Powers movies, right?
Yes.
Her brother Mark Sterling is just as funny as she is, and he runs the comedy breakfast. So
feel free to steal my material.
Okay, I will. Keep sitting there, Mike. Mike keeps me laughing throughout my work week.
Yes, he does.
You know what? That's what we need, because one thing I noticed last night, there's not a lot of laughter. There's a lot of hatred, a lot of name calling, and we lose focus on what's important. And just like my campaign, what's important is families, right? If we focus on the family, then we can solve almost anything. If we do what's in the best interest of the family instead of what politicians are doing now, they're doing what's best for their pockets. And I do call it the uniparty because I don't believe there's a Republican Party as we know it. I don't even believe there's a Democrat Party as we knew it. I think
the Republican Party of Ronald Reagan and the Democratic Party of John F. Kennedy have long since died. Now, we can mourn them and we can be nostalgic about them, but both parties have changed and changed drastically. And it's going to take the American people to decide who they want. What kind of country do they want? What kind of a nation do we want to be? And once we figure that out, which we're going to have to do, we can't allow Washington to figure it out for us. No. We're going to have to figure it out. And we're going to have to reach across the aisle, despite political differences, despite religious differences, despite sexual orientation, despite economic status, whether you're homeless or you're affluent. We are all Americans in this country. We are all Americans in this country, and we need to take the best route possible to get back on track. Period.
And we are the first branch of government. We the people.
Right.
Says it right on that. Yeah. I sent Al a copy of the Constitution the other day.
People need to wake up and start putting people in specific little molds. For example, a Republican has to be a Christian, God-loving person.
Oh, that's bullshit.
Wait, let me
That's,
finish. Let me finish.
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Heterosexual, compliant person. So yesterday, I met a candidate at the Glendale event, running for California State Senate for District 23. He is a second lieutenant in the Army National Guard. He is LGBTQT, and he's a freaking Republican. Imagine that.
And you said further right than you are.
Right. He's way more right than I am. And he was there to defend. I like that. He was there to defend children that are being taught that or groomed into being something that they're not, right? And I was super impressed with this guy, not just because he was in the military, but because what he talked about is what makes sense, right? It's common sense. And he also said one thing. He said, Tony, you know what? We need more veterans running. And I'm like, why? He says, because us veterans, we know how to reach across the lines and aisles and shake hands with people and get things done. We've been trained to do that. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, orange. If we're in the same unit, we come to terms with each other and figure things out so that we can survive whatever we're doing. And that's the problem. We don't do that, right? As a country, we just don't do that. It's either you're one of them or you're one of them, but it's not us. And we need to get to that point where it's us. And it's only going to start at our level, right? I can't change the federal government. That's completely a mess. But we can make some changes at the local level. Like Al running for city council, that would be great, right? That's a step in the right direction. We could sure use somebody like Al there to help out people like Monica Rodriguez, who's a worthless human being, right? And I'll tell you how bad she is. She hates my town so much that we had that national night out. She showed up to the event, to the city next to us, but she wouldn't come to ours because she dislikes us so much because we're always pushing back, right? And maybe I shouldn't post what she voted for to defund the police like I did the other day, or post a letter she wrote where she's the one that wrote the bill to defund LAPD. And here we are now in a shortage of officers, right? I think we're down to 9,000 officers now. And they don't
it's not. And Tony, you brought this up a couple of shows ago, and I think Al and I were talking about it yesterday. It's not just recruitment with our law enforcement. It's also a recruitment deficiency with regard to our U.S. military.
Oh yeah,
and the more that we taunt, and the more that our government, this administration, taunts a fight with somebody, and we are not prepared to do that, what the hell are you setting us up for?
Well, it's really, at the end of the day, we all know what the governments want, not just our government, all of them worldwide, right? They want one world order. That's all they want. They don't want individuality. They don't want people to be who they are. They want to tell you what to do, when to do, and how to do it. They don't like people pushing back. If you were at that meeting yesterday at the Glendale Unified School District, you could see the board members. They didn't let quite a few people speak because they didn't want them to speak. They didn't want people to hear their message, right?
Yeah.
They don't want people to know what they're teaching in schools. They don't want parents to make a decision on what classes kids need to take, right? They want to make all the decisions for them, and that's not right. As a parent, you have the right to decide where your kid gets taught. If you don't like it, you have the right to move your kid to another school if you want. None of this getting permission from a school district. You know, it's ridiculous. I went through this with my son when he was going to high school. We had to get permission for him to go to a charter school, even though we didn't want him to go to the school that he wanted to. It was like begging for them to let him go somewhere else. It shouldn't be that way. We all pay our taxes. And if I want my child to go to another school, whether it's a religious school or homeschooling, that money should be afforded to that particular student, right? I don't want to be paying all this money for nothing, right? And I know I'm a grandparent and I don't have a kid in school, but I got 2 grandkids in school, and I fear for them every day, right? I fear for them every day because we can't decide where they really go, and that's not right.
No, and this comes down, And if anybody wants to see exactly where you stand on these issues and you're crystal clear on them, all they have to do is visit your website at Tony, the number 4, California.us. They can read it, they can digest it, and they can even call you or email you or call your press Yahoo. They can ask him the question. It's pretty clear where you stand. And this is what we don't have, are fine definitions on what our leadership is going to be in
Right.
Sacramento.
And I spoke to a few parents yesterday, and we were talking about that particular, and I said, well, I'm just going to be very candid with you. When you elect me, I can't do it alone. I need you, right? I need you to keep me in check. I need you to tell me what's going on and what's important in our neighborhood, because I'm not going to be here every day. So I need people like you to pick up the phone and say, hey, what the hell is going on? Why are we having these issues, right? And because I think sometimes people forget, they elect somebody and they expect that person to do it all on their own, to be mind readers. Well, we're not mind readers, right?
No.
We're not mind readers. You need to tell me what's happening. And one thing I will promise is I will have quarterly town hall meetings. I want people to tell, and I will be there. I want people to tell me what they want, what they need. I don't want to make any assumptions, because that's the problem. We got politicians making assumptions on what they need. Anthony Weiner, he's always assuming that we need to give kids the right to do whatever they want, chop off their body parts, right? And on top of that, he expects the parents to pay for that, even if we don't have a choice in the matter. Ridiculous. That makes no sense to me.
Well, and that too. And then I want to pivot real quick, because I know we're at the bottom of the hour, because I want to ask Al a question or two. But this is the thing. When government thinks they can do it better than the family, they have literally pulled a coup on the family. Every family is different. Every family comes from different backgrounds and social strata and so forth. Our backgrounds are different. Our religions are different. Our politics are different. But the one thing we have in common, the one thing that we will always agree on, is that our families and our children are the most important priority in our lives. Because without that, everything else is a crapshoot. But I want to ask Al real quick. Tell us about the Chamber of Commerce, because I know Tony belongs to the chamber too, and what you do.
Tony gets the same emails I get. As you know, our installation gala is this Saturday night, and I will be sworn in as your public servant. You're going, right, Tony?
No, I'm doing a military. It's not at the funeral. It's a presentation to the family.
Oh, cool. All right.
At the American Legion. He was the guy that passed away July 13th. He was a chaplain, and we weren't able to have. We had the military burial on site. But we weren't able to have a function for the family, and they're flying in from England, and we're going to do it Saturday, 5 p.m.
Okay.
So it's going to be a military procession for the family. We're going to present the flag again to the wife, to the spouse, and just, our condolences to the entire family. Most of his family comes from England, so they're all come flying in this weekend.
Oh, that's great.
So unfortunately, I won't be able
that's
to do
a
that.
good reason to miss it.
He was 75 years old. He was a Vietnam veteran.
Nice.
Agent Orange got him.
Oh, wow.
So it's one of those things that, he's good. He was a good dude. He's a good old guy, and I got to see him on July the 1st when we had the flag burning ceremony in his house.
Flag burning?
Flag burning. We were teaching kids how to actually dispose of an American flag.
Right.
Because you just don't throw it in and burn it. It's a certain thing you have to do. And so he had he had hamburgers and hot dogs for the people. We invited the community. They watched the flag burning ceremony. He was looking good then, but I know he was old. and then 12 days later he passed on. So,
Oh, so sorry.
good dude, great community guy. Not just a war veteran, but he was a good community guy. He was very engaged in the community, and that I respected that more of him than anything else. Um, that even at his age, he was still helping out the community. So
God bless him.
cool. So Saturday his family's coming in, so it's good.
So
we're supposed to have a special guest tonight, right, Tony?
Oh, let me text him. Yeah.
While you're doing that, here's my special guest tonight. And I like this to my great friend who bought me this hat in Vegas, by the way. American made.
Are you trying to get me shot or what?
No, I'm not trying to get you shot, but I dedicate this to you.
A lot of other places make the Trump tax cuts permanent. You know, your tax cuts that we got you, the biggest tax cut in history, you know, it pretty much is going to be coming due in a very short period of time. And when that happens, your taxes are going to go through the roof. That'll be a terrible thing. And that's given to you as a gift from the Democrats. Remember that. But we will reduce taxes even further. We'll get it extended, and we will reduce taxes further, because the thing that built our economy with the regulation cuts and those tremendous tax cuts, the incentive for people to work. And they don't have the incentive right now. Nobody knows what they're doing. Nobody knows. Nobody has any, they have no clue.
Okay, hashtag Trump 2024, but if he wants more airtime, he's going to have to pay for it.
So since you brought your buddy up,
Yeah.
he's about to have at least 12 more indictments coming next week.
12.
12 more.
No, one indictment, 12 charges.
Well, he's
It's going to be from Georgia. No, I think
He's
she's
only
looking
got
for
one
12.
one more. He's only
So
got
it'll be
after
78.
taking the
It'll be
mattress tag
78
off.
plus 12. It'll be 78 plus 12.
Yeah, that one was funny, Mike. The mattress. we used to joke about that. You know, what are you in for? Murder. What are you in for? I took the mattress tag off.
Exactly.
That was a good one, Mike. That was a good one.
That was fun.
But you know, all serious.
And I want to
All serious. Go ahead.
God bless those people out in Maui who are having the problems
Yes.
with the fires.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And a hurricane's coming.
They're jumping.
Who would ever thought that Maui would have a fire? I mean,
Yeah, I heard from
that's
Senator
so
Gabbard.
humid out there.
I heard from Senator Gabbard, and Mike called him too to check on him, and he's still on his U.S. Canadian tour.
Okay.
But I'm sure before it's over, they're going to blame Tulsi Gabbard for lighting incense and creating. The Democrats will do that.
She gave a very heartwarming interview on Facebook earlier about Maui and all that, what's going on, and we need to pray for those people because you know times are tough, and we always focus on these morons we call leaders, and we forget about the people. Right? Those are the ones that really matter.
Yeah.
And that's the message that I really want to get that message out in my campaign, that it's not just about the economy, and we can solve everything if we focus on what's important to our families, right? Kind of like we do. We all have budgets. We all deal with our budgets with our family. We don't overspend, but somehow politicians overspend because it's not their money, right? It's our money. If it was their money, they wouldn't spend the money on what they spend it on now. Right? We wouldn't be giving $10 billion to the Ukraine. We wouldn't be giving Newsom $30 million for his fake bullshit homeless program that he's coming up with. So
You know, I wish that if they actually created a program that worked, the American people would be more than willing. Even the taxpayers in California, they would be more than willing to do that if it actually resulted in results to curb the homeless crisis. Can
I just say something about this? Because
Yes,
I happen to know
yes,
a little
of course.
bit about this. We cannot keep up with it. we take 30,000 homeless people off the street and we put them in hotels that the city has purchased. Okay. But now next month, 30,000 more homeless come in.
Right.
Okay. We can't keep up. The rents keep going up.
And look at,
People can't afford
right.
to pay the goddamn rent and they become
You
homeless.
just nailed it.
And that's it.
You just nailed it.
And the rent moratorium ended on August 1st. So guess what? You're going to see another influx of homeless people coming in. We can't keep up with this problem.
Well, and you're right, Al. And the real issue is that they just acting like they're doing something when they're really not. We're not addressing the real issue of homelessness.
They're doing something, but it's not going to happen overnight. You know, it's not like waving a magic wand and the homeless problem is gone. They've got to build housing. It's going to take time. It's going to take years to build housing.
Well, and it is taking, and you're right, Al, and it is taking years. And back in 2015, Allie and I were on top of the homeless Bill of Rights, trying to pressure Sacramento, trying to even pressure Washington to take notice. And the fact is, from 2015 to almost mid 2023, nothing has gotten done. And when you pass a bill through your local city legislator, and that bill is ratified, and the shelters never get built, the resources are not there.
We opened up a hotel in Woodland Hills just for homeless women and children. My friend Consuela Mackey is the former commissioner on disability, and her focus is strictly homeless veterans. If you're a veteran and you're homeless, that's her job. Consuela.
That should be priority one.
Now I'm gonna try to get her on the show as a guest, because what she's doing for our veterans is something that somebody donated land so that she can get housing built for them. So
that's brilliant.
Things are happening, but it's not a magic wand. It's not going to happen overnight.
Right.
And we can't keep up because California is so goddamn expensive that, you know, they just raise the rents and they don't care. These are corporate landlords in New York. They don't give a fuck. They'll raise the rent $500 a month on somebody who's on a fixed income. They can't afford it.
Right.
And the next thing you know, they're on the street.
But remember, when they build these houses, affordable housing, it's only a certain percentage, right? So it's misleading to the public when they talk about we're spending all this money on affordable housing. Well, what's their definition of affordable housing versus reality, right? And that's where the disconnect is, because in Tujunga, they're trying to build affordable housing, right? They're going to build 100 apartments or condos, whatever you want to call them, but only 10 of them are going to be for people that are homeless, right? So they're making money on the side with the other, 900 apartments.
Well, they need to be more transparent about that. They need to really, tell the truth, because in 1975, you could rent a 2-bedroom apartment for $100 a month.
Not now.
That wasn't that long ago, guys.
Right.
No,
that wasn't
not that long at all.
Now it's like $2,200 a month.
I'm paying $2,300 a month for a fucking 1-bedroom.
Right.
1 bedroom.
In San Diego.
That's why I bought early. Got a 4-bedroom for $125,000.
That's awesome.
Hey, look who we got.
Oh, who's that?
That was a forehead.
That's our friend Brandon. He's trying to come on. Brandon is in front of Mr. Shifty Shift's office today.
Uh-oh.
Of all nights for Al, my pal Al, to be on.
Now, you also heard that the January 6th committee has lost half of the records, or they were destroyed, which should be a felony for the chairman of that because he was responsible for it. So
Well,
let's see what happens, because that's destruction of government property, and that's our money that was spent.
look, I still believe that January 6th, it was both parties involved in that. It wasn't just the other side; it was both of them.
No doubt. And if I was Trump and I was going before the hearings in D.C., I'd be subpoenaing the Capitol Police Chief, his intelligence person, Nancy Pelosi, uh, everybody else that wasn't in on those committees, and say, what did you know about it? When did you know about it?
Yeah, but unfortunately, we're not going to find out the truth anyway. We're still trying to figure out who shot Kennedy, right? And that happened in the '60s. So,
Well, we could,
Well, all you have to do is ask. All you have to do, Tony, is ask Robert Kennedy.
right?
He'll tell you. He'll tell you who shot his uncle and his father.
Yeah, that three-letter agency.
And he's running for president.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be in his shoes. This guy.
no.
It's my opinion that the mafia took out Kennedy. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Louisiana mafia.
Hey, Brandon,
How you doing, my brother?
I'm living the dream, sir.
I'm out here. We're in front of Adam Schiff, and to show you the news van out here.
That's a hell of a mask.
I was just going to say, Brandon, that's the best mask you've had so far.
This is
At
one.
least
This is
you're-
this mask. It's a nasty one. People get scared when I put this one on.
No.
That's okay. They should.
So I don't usually like to try wearing this mask so much. It's terrifying for most people, but we're in front of Adam Schiff's, and you see behind me a ton
Oh, yeah.
of beautiful Armenian people, the community coming together to voice their disgust of this scumbag not doing a damn thing. All he wanted was votes. He was all bullshit. All he wanted was votes. And they're out here right now. It's going live. This is right now in front of Adam Schiff's office, 3rd and Olive in Burbank. And they're going to be here all night, and they're going to block the streets off.
God bless him.
They've changed the game. Since I've been on the show, you've been watching the news and everything. They're now speaking out against all kinds of stuff. They're registering to vote, and it's a game changer for California. This is going to flip the state red.
Oh, that would be a dream.
California, you mean?
We're going red.
Al.
Or just that street.
No.
I will believe that when I see it.
It's going to happen because I think people underestimate the numbers. You know, when we lose local elections, it's not by much sometimes. And these guys are registering by the thousands. By the way, last night I was here, and I'm going to show you the van. I was here last night, and I was assaulted, almost killed. I wasn't assaulted, but this guy said he was going to kill me, a gang member, walking the streets of Burbank at night and approached me right here in front of City Hall. I stayed back with the van. Everybody was on a procession. They left. All the cops left. And then here I am by myself watching the van. Sure enough, some guy comes up to me, a meth head, and he said he was going to kill me. And I grabbed the bear spray out of the van.
Brandon,
Yeah.
I thought we weren't going to talk about Hunter Biden tonight.
You know what? This guy made Hunter Biden look like a Boy Scout.
Hey, Brandon.
Yeah.
Brandon, talk about the event yesterday in Glendale.
Glendale was awesome. Antifa had about 4 or 5, 6 people there with cameras doxing people. We did get in the face of them and push them off. Glendale police helped us get them out. Sheba showed up, started doing what she does best. And the little scuffle, I heard Sheba got in a little scuffle with another woman who tried to attack her.
She was attacked, yeah.
She was attacked.
Yep.
And so that's what they're doing now. They're lashing out because they know the momentum is going in our favor. Literally tonight, these guys are up here, and you know, I'm here just to support him. I hate Adam Schiff's fucking guts. And, you know, the streets of Burbank have changed, brother.
You
I
should
mean,
interview that guy behind you.
dude,
in the
I was
white shirt.
approached by a full-on hardcore parolee gang member who identified himself as a gang member to me and said he was going to kill me. And
did you get
you
his
know,
license
kind of
number?
terrifying.
Brandon,
You
what's
gotta,
the point?
you gotta get his license number, take a picture of him. Don't take those threats lightly. You gotta.
No, he's in jail. He's in jail. Burbank cops came, code 3. It took 10 cops wrestling with him to get him down. He was on meth. He's a homeless parolee on meth.
Wow.
He's probably
North
back out
Hollywood
tonight.
gang member.
Hey, Brandon, what's the goal for this tonight?
Tonight?
What's the goal to be there in front of Adam Schiff's office tonight? What is the goal?
Well, what they're doing is, you know, they think Adam Schiff's a normal human being and he could talk and we could have a conversation, but he's not. They're asking him to step it up. And since he's part of the Armenian coalition for the Armenian people, they want him to take action immediately. In Artsakh, there's 120,000 people starving right now. And there's a blockade. All the food is stopped. All the medicine is stopped. There's children suffering, elderly people suffering. There's no food. It's been going on for, 60 days or more. And Adam Schiff has done not a damn thing, of course. Joe Biden has not done a damn thing, of course. So they're out here. They gave Schiff a timeline. Like, dude, you're going to have to do something. Let us know. Get on Twitter. Talk to us. And he hasn't done it. Very arrogant.
Well,
He's kept a low profile. And so they actually thought Schiff was going to try to talk with them personally on Twitter and get stuff done. No, he's laying low. So it's pissing him off. So tonight, and you see live right now, people are starting to gather as the sun's going down. But tonight, they're actually going to block off Olive Avenue, which is the main thoroughfare in Burbank, right in front of City Hall. And
well, Brandon, real quick, just to capitalize on what you were saying, the reason Schiff is staying low is because he's so focused on his 2024 campaign for the United States Senate to replace 90-year-old Dianne Feinstein that is all he really cares about. It's all about Adam Schiff at this point.
And he doesn't care. He doesn't care what he's doing at this point for Burbank. So it doesn't matter. And I think this is a good signal that the Armenian people are seeing that they supported somebody who doesn't really care about anybody, not just the Armenian community, anybody.
No, you know, Schiff has lied so many times under oath as well, as we all know. He was the definitive hitman for the Democratic Party, flipping the election. Media grabbed the ball and ran with it like it was true info on Russian collusion. Schiff was the hitman for the Democratic Party, thinking that he was going to be rewarded greatly. And you know what? His political career just might be over. And these Armenians, they're calling him out. We got firepower now. When we go to events now, we have the Armenian backing us. It's a game changer. The whole playing field has changed. We've got momentum. We're getting people to register to vote. We're getting them out there. We're canvassing neighborhoods, signing people up. And you see the Armenian community. They're really into this, dude. They're pissed off, and they feel they've been lied to by Adam Schiff.
Hey Tom, what do you think? What do you think about the August 22nd event? What do you know
That's
about that?
going to be outrageous. I just talked to the organizer, and it's small streets around that area. I heard that the building of the LAUSD has got a couple narrow streets on a triangle. They're going to block all that freaking thing off. It's going to be a festival, and we're gonna puke all over LAUSD that day. It's probably going to be the biggest rally ever that you'll ever go to, and it's going to be a forceful event. It's not going to be people just asking. They're going to demand LAUSD take off their curriculum the transgender agenda that they're throwing down the children's throats. They're not going to ask them. they're going to demand. And the amazing thing is, amazing Manuk, one of the top heavy hitters here in the Armenian community, and he's the organizer. He's got 4 young daughters in elementary school in LA Unified right now. He's got a lot at stake. He's got 2 sets of twins, and I believe they're like in 2nd and 4th grade, or very young. And so he is really the driving force of this. He's an amazing guy. I've met so many amazing Armenian guys here that are just driven to make it right, to get this agenda out of the school system. So they're making a statement. LA Unified is shaking in their boots. NBC4 van showed up yesterday in Glendale with 3, not 1, but 3 bodyguards.
Yep.
And I called them out. Tony, you were there hearing the rhetoric, abrasive and blunt, very harsh, and they deserve every bit of it.
So to piggyback on the August 22nd event, and I want people to know this, people from San Diego are coming, people from Northern California are coming to that event. So it's going to be huge. Orange County people are coming to go in front of LAUSD and protest on what's happening in our schools. And that guy, how do you pronounce his name again?
Manuk?
Yeah, Manuk. I spoke with him yesterday, and he's done an awesome job on recruiting people to come from different parts of the state for this event on August 22nd. So I'm super
It's amazing
what happens.
You know, it really is amazing what, you know, they're organized. They divvy up certain tasks. They're driven. They have a ton of energy. We spent the night in front of Schiff's office last night, and it was crazy. There was a bunch of people out here. We camped out in protest, and you're definitely going to see the Cubs hat in downtown on the 22nd.
Okay, good. And it goes back to what we've always talked about, guys. It's about the families. It's about the kids, right? We need to do the right thing for them, not for us, for them. For me, it's too late, but not for my grandkids, not for your grandkids.
Dude, these guys.
And because I know we're at the top of the hour, just a little heads up for Brandon. Just a heads up, Brandon. If you can get just two the Kardashian girls to come out to that rally, you'll have a crowd like you've never seen.
Well, I'm expecting.
So Armenian.
Well, in the center, eye of the storm, in this 22nd demonstration in downtown, the Channel 4 band is going to be right in the heart of it with the PA system, and they're going to be piping up on it, rousing the crowd, revving them up. So yeah, I'm going to have some equipment out there, and they're watching my back. And it feels good not to be running from Antifa anymore. And Antifa, by the way, they are actively trying to find out who I am. And they know my first name, my real first name, but they have no idea who I am. They're trying to trace me down, and they can't, and it's frustrating them. But, you know, we're going to fight this thing. And I got a P.O. box. They can't find where I live. So, you know, we're going to fight back. We're finding out now where they live, and we've got their addresses. So they're terrified.
You know, it's kind of good and bad what we're seeing happening, because, you know, some people get violent, right? And that's not what this should be about. It shouldn't be about violence. It should be about doing the right thing for the communities. And it gets ugly. I mean, I saw it firsthand yesterday when Shiva got attacked.
Unreal.
Just for no reason, the lady came and tried to and smacked her. Right?
I didn't see it. I saw the scuffle across the parking lot, and you know, I was over at the van. I had to protect my stuff. But yeah, when it breaks out, it's like it breaks out quick, and you got to really watch your back. And you know, even here in Burbank, a safe town like Burbank, yesterday it was almost deadly. The guy, some meth head comes up. There's homeless walking the streets of Burbank now. The Burbank City Council woke are doing a great job of destroying the town of Burbank. This shit was never before in Burbank before. Now you're seeing fucking broken down motorhomes park. It's like North Hollywood. This is the woke city council direction of Constantine Anthony, now the mayor scumbag. And, you know, Burbank has changed, dude. It's not the sleepy little town it was before.
Well,
And there's some really bad guys walking around here at night.
Speaking of the mayor, your buddy, he is running for LA supervisor now.
That's right.
He came to one of our meetings in Salentahunga, talking the socialist agenda to people in Salentahunga. So,
Hey, I just met another Cub fan. Hello. Are you for the Cubs? You're on live stream.
I'm not from here.
You're not from here? What's with the Cubs hat?
Istanbul, you know.
You found it or what? You bought it? It's what? The Cubs.
The
You're from
same
Chicago.
again. Yes, I know. But I didn't know before I came here.
God
because
bless
I
you.
like that only, and
Yeah.
I bought.
I love you.
Second,
You see that? We got
Hello, ladies. Tony Rodriguez show.
fans in Burbank. And you know,
I'm
Wow.
yeah, you know, people, some really beautiful
like your
people around
hat.
here. Yeah. And so right now,
What
people are gathering. People are gathering slowly. God bless
Have
you.
a good day.
Wonderful meeting you. And bye-bye. And so you see the music coming on, cars are coming up. As you see, the crowd is growing. And
Yeah,
you're going to see in about an hour, it's going to get out of hand. And
Well,
they are
make sure you take some pictures and send them over to me so we can post them for you.
Where the car honks.
I'll
we're
do
gonna-
that, guys.
Brandon, we're gonna let you go so we can finish up the show, okay?
God bless you guys. And you know what? Let's keep up the good fight, man. We got some momentum going. We're going to tear it up.
Right.
God
Yeah,
bless
we
you.
Brandon,
sir.
be safe. Be safe,
I
Brandon.
will, sir. Thank you so much. It was great talking to all you guys and seeing you again. I miss all of you, bro.
Thank you, sir. We miss you.
Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Be safe.
So, I mean, he's an interesting guy, right? But I give him credit because he's involved in every aspect of everything, right? He's really trying to do the right thing. Sometimes, you know, it's not really the right way to do it, but he's trying, and I respect that. He goes to all these events. This guy Manuki was talking about, very well-known person in the Armenian community. I don't know how he did it, but he's got people from San Diego, Stockton, Sacramento, Orange County coming to that event August 22nd to show, you know, a force to the school district that parents are tired of not having a say-so on what their kids are being taught in school, right?
Yeah.
And I think at the end of the day, we all want what's best for our kids and our families. And we want to make sure that they get taught things that they need to know, right? English,
Right.
science, math. The other stuff is what parents need to teach kids. And if your child decides
Exactly.
that they're LGBTQT, that's okay if that's what they want to be. But don't indoctrinate them or groom them to have body parts cut off till they're adults. Let them make the decision once they're grown. A
Right.
12-year-old can't wipe their ass properly as it is. They leave shit stains on their underwear. We're going to let them make a decision like that? No, hell no, right? I don't need
Some
violence.
presidents can't wipe their ass either without help.
Well,
That's true.
but you know who I blame? The American people, because one
There
thing we
you
know
know.
about Biden is when he was running for office, he did not lie about anything. He said, I'm going to raise taxes. He said, we're going to go green. We're going to cut fuel. He said all that. He didn't lie about that. And he was still elected. So you know whose fault it is? The voters. They voted for this nonsense. This is what you get when you vote because you hate the orange man, because he was mean or he sent a mean tweet. You know, we could have done a better job of finding another candidate besides Biden. And that's just
Right.
Tony's opinion. And you guys know I'm not a Trump fan, but
Well, you were last week.
no,
Exactly. You know, pick a side already.
Hey, don't be
Jesus Christ.
hey, don't be Channel
He came
7.
to his senses.
Don't use Channel 7. All I said was, based on everybody running, he was the best candidate. That's what I said.
And we took that. Don't ruin it. I'm trying to get you endorsements, dude.
No, I'm not ruining it. I'm just saying, based on all the people we have running, he's the only one that could fix or attempt to fix what's going on now, because the other ones are sellout. DeSantis, he's a sellout. The only other guy I like is Kennedy. That's it. Right. I don't like anybody else that's running.
I got to agree with you. They are both taking on their party establishment, and I think this is the new wave. I think our kids will not know the Republican and Democratic parties the way we knew them when we were growing up, or Al was growing up.
I'm glad for that they won't know what we know now. But you know, if you look at Kennedy, he's got similar views as Trump.
He does.
Similar views.
Yeah.
So at least we know that we have two guys that are intelligent, no matter what people think,
right.
That think that the solution is not where we're at now. And I would love to see those two partner up somehow at some point, whether it's a position in his group, whatever it is, because I think they can make a difference.
I agree with you, and we can make a difference by going to Tony, the number 4 California.us, and Al's website will be coming out soon. Yeah, he says no. Dwight Eisenhower said no too, and they drafted his ass.
I don't want to be a politician. That's the last thing I want.
But you're not going to be a politician. You're a public servant.
That's
a statesman. Exactly.
That's what I am.
And you can make a difference.
But if you get elected, to city council or the state house or something, you'll actually get paid for it, Al.
It's not about the money with Al.
Yeah.
No, it's not. No, he's a monk. He is. He's the real deal.
You ask the people in my community, I go. I'm there to help them. I'm there to help small business. That's what it's all about.
You're a good man. There's no doubt in my mind about that.
I agree.
It's an honor to know you.
You as well.
We met. I'm still trying to figure out how we all met, but it doesn't matter at this point. You guys are my brothers.
I remember you said something about
I dare you.
We had a school shooting, and you said something about guns that made sense, and I wanted you to come to the chamber.
I consider you guys my brothers, and I think that regardless of what happens with any of us, we're going to stick together and we're going to fight the good fight and do the right thing for everybody. And that's all we can do, right? That's all we can do.
Amen.
I want to
have each other's back.
And when Tony gets to Sacramento, I got a good real estate agent for a rental job up there.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. I want to thank you guys for being on the show tonight. I appreciate your friendship more than anything. I want to thank you for always being there for me, and know that I'm always going to be here for you. We don't always agree, but we should be an example for the nation that you don't have to agree to be friends.
True.
Right? And that's reality, right? We don't have to agree at everything, but we have confidence in each other's ability and we respect each other's opinion. And that's what we're missing nowadays. And my job in this election is to make sure that people learn that we all need to respect each other and take care of each other. I want to thank you guys. Thank you for popping into the Tony Rodriguez Show on the Next Gen Live. Obviously, we're senseless because we say a lot of things. You can find me at Tony, the number 4, California.us. I am running for assembly for District 44. Includes Sunland, Tahunga, La Crescenta, Montrose, Glendale, Burbank. Come on and show some support and let's make a difference, everybody. Good night.
You got it.
Good night.